Hello and welcome to this module. We are going to talk about string functions and how we manipulate strings using these functions. Okay, so I'm going to cover these many functions: string copy, strcpy, strncpy, strcat, concatenation, comparing strings, strcmp to find length, strlen, and so forth. So let's get going and begin with the first function, strcpy. As it says, strcpy is to copy string, okay, from one variable to another. If you want to copy string, we will be using strcpy. So let me create a string. I'll call it, say, string 1, and I should store something in the string. Let's say I am learning C. So this is the string variable string 1, which contains the string I am learning C. Now, when I want to use this function cpy, I would want a string from which I will copy and a string to which I will copy. No? So this is a string I want to copy to a destination string. So this becomes source, and there's another string that I need that will become destination. Okay. So if when I want to use this function strcpy, and if you would need some help on it, then you can press F1 and you will be taken to the page string copy. And there are examples. You have complete description about this function. So it says copies one string to another, and you have a destination string and you have a source string. Okay, the destination string into which the source is copied, the string that is copied is the source. Okay, so we'll go ahead with this case. Now I have the string which is source, but I don't have a destination. So of course I need to create a destination. What I'll do is I'll create a new string. So that new string will get the copy of this old string. Okay. Since I'm not initializing anything in this new string, I will simply decide the size of this array. Okay. To be on the safe side, I've put it a little more than required. Now I'll use this function strcpy, and the first thing, when you when you type parentheses, you will get a help on this function automatically. Okay, it says destination, * destination, and then source. So what is the destination? The destination is new string, because I want to copy into the string. Okay, comma, and then I will say string 1. Okay, so this is done. Let me replay, but when I replay, how will I see whether the string has been copied into new string or not? So I can print this new string. How? Using lr_message, lr_output_message function. So it is a string. I will say %s. If I want to write certain message, I will say the copied string is so and so, that is %s, and then the variable name. New string will contain the copied. New string will have the value now I am learning C. String 1, whatever was there in string 1 has been copied into new string. So now I want to print new string to see if I have got the contents right, if the copy function has worked correctly or not. Okay? So now I run this program. See what has happened. It has printed new string as the copied string is I am learning C. So whatever was there in string 1 has been copied into new string which was empty, which did not have any value, but now it is being copied. This is how we can use copy function to copy a string to a variable. Okay. Now, for example, you have a parameter. How will I create a parameter is, so basically I'm talking about parameters from Loadrunner script perspective. So if I want to create a parameter, I would say lr_save_string and the string that I want to write into parameter. So it is a constant. What value should go into that parameter name? Say I will say string manipulations. Okay. So this is a constant, and I want to create a parameter which will hold this constant string manipulations. Okay. So I'll call it, since it is a parameter, I'm calling it p_param. Okay. This instruction, this command, what it has done is it has created a parameter p_param, and it contains the value string manipulations. Okay. Now what if I want to copy this new string, this the value in p_param into new string? Okay. Same way, I will just I will call this function strcpy string copy, and then where I want to copy it, I want to copy it into new string. That is the variable we have defined on top. And what value do I want to copy? I want to copy p_param. Okay. So this way I can utilize, I can copy the value from parameter into a string. Now let me get the output to see. Output message. New string now contains param value as %s and then new string. Okay, so let's run this program. Undeclared identifier p_param must be something. Okay, this is an inbuilt variable that is created with this function lr_save_string. So we cannot directly access parameter like this. We will have to evaluate it. To evaluate this parameter, we will have to use lr_eval string, and then inside this we will be using curly braces within quotes to evaluate the parameter. So basically what we need to do is we need to evaluate the parameter, because this was not a simple variable like we created string1 or new string. This was parameter created by function lr_save_string. So we have to evaluate the value inside this parameter using lr_eval_string. Now this is the syntax to evaluate parameter. You have to put the parameter enclosed in curly braces and then in quotes also. So this will evaluate, and it will copy this parameter value after evaluation into new string, and here I am printing this new string. Okay. Now let's run this code. Okay. On line number 8 in results window, in output window, in replay logs, you see when I click on this line number 8, double click on it, the highlight is the code that is highlighted in editor is this line. Okay. So it says the copied string is I am learning C. Firstly it copied this. We have already seen this this result before in the previous run. Now I'm interested in this run. The new string now contains param value as string manipulations. So new string was already having I am learning C inside it. However, when we wrote this string copy command another time with the same variable new string, what it did is it copied parameter value, it overrode the parameter value on new string. Okay, so whatever the old value new string was having, that is wiped out, and the new value is written down again. Okay. So this is about string copy function. How you can copy a string, a variable like string 1 into new string, and also from parameter, from Loadrunner parameters, how you can copy parameter into a variable called new string. Okay. So let's begin. Let's start with the next function. I will just write comment over here to make it easy for you to understand later when you refer to this file. This is about strcpy. Okay, and the next function is, let's go back there in the file. Next is strncpy. Okay, strncpy. The only difference between the two functions is that there's an n in between. Okay, and this n signifies that this copy function will copy the first n characters only. Okay, so strncpy, and I will hit F1 to get help on this. So you're taken to this page. It says copies the first n characters of one string to another. Okay, and the arguments to this function are destination, source, and the number of characters, the size of, what number of characters, the n in the function is over here. These two arguments are same as in string copy function. It's just that you're providing another number of characters to be copied. Okay, so let's go back and see how this works. And suppose I have a new string again. I have another string, char. I can do without it. I can just give a constant also when I call this function. So I come back to strncpy, and what I do is I want to. So I have to create this destination string at least. So I will say str and say 10. Okay. So this is an empty string. It does not contain anything. I want to copy into this str from the string hello world only say 5 letters, the first 5 characters. So I will say 5. Okay. What it will do is it will populate, it will count the first 5 characters and populate that into string. It will fill into that string. Now let me print what comes in that string. The result of strncpy is, and the name of the string, it will put these 5 characters is str. So here I go. Now again I'll run. It says the result of strncpy is hello, because I asked it to copy only the first 5 characters. Now if I change these characters to 4, it is going to print hell. The result of strncpy is hell. So this way, if you want to cut a certain string, cut a string after certain characters, you can utilize strncpy. Okay. So the next function is strcat. As the word says, strcat is to concatenate 2 strings. Concatenate 2 strings. Let's get help on it. strcat. I'll place my cursor on strcat and press F1. Okay. So what it says is it concatenates 2 strings, and the argument is 2, one string called to, another string called from. So this is a constant string. Okay, and this is a pointer to the string. So this to string, the string at the end of which the from string is concatenated. Okay, so whatever is in 2 will be, and from will be concatenated at the end of 2. Okay, let's go back and do some example on it. So I have a string already as string 1 which says I am learning C. Now I want to concatenate. You get to see the help there. It says character star 2. So I have the 2 string already written, and then I say comma, then it says constant characters from. So I have to put a constant string from which the string that I want to concatenate with string 1. Okay, so I will write the string 1 already contains I am learning C. So I can say I am learning C strings. Okay, let's see what happens. So now in the first parameter, in the first argument, string 1, the string 1 will have the concatenation of string 1 and the constant strings. Okay, let's not confuse it, so I'll give it something else. I'm learning C hello. So what we'll do is string 1 will be the resultant string carrying the concatenation of string 1 and hello. Okay, so if I want to print again, if I want to get the resultant string, output message, the resultant string after strcat is %s, and that will be in string 1. So whatever is the first argument, that will contain, after string concatenate operation, the first argument will contain the concatenated string. That is what it means. So let's run this. So let's go to replay log to see what is the result. It says the resultant string after string concatenation is I am learning C hello. Okay, so this way we have concatenated 2 strings. Okay, so you can concatenate in this manner with a constant string like this. If you do not want to use a constant string, if you don't want to hard code, you can also define a variable to contain a constant string. So since all the definition of variables will be on in the beginning, you will say character star say string 2. Okay, and this will contain nice people. Okay, now I would call string concatenate strcat function, and the first argument would be string 1, and then the next argument will be string 2. Okay, the resultant string will be carried in string 1 as before. Okay, so I'll copy paste this code and I say the resultant string after second concatenation, okay, is string 1 again. So whatever is the first argument will contain the resultant string. Let's run this program and see the results. Now see, this comes, the resultant string after second concatenation is I am learning C hello nice people. Okay, so there are 2 ways I used string concatenate. In first, I gave the constant string right when I was calling the string concatenate function, and in second instance of calling string concatenation, I provided a variable which is holding the string, and I declared the variable in the beginning. Okay, so these are 2 ways you can call string concatenate function. Alright, so let me just rename this action appropriately. We learned about strppy underscore strncpy and strcat. Okay, so well, moving forward with other functions let's not have it in the same action file. I'll create another action and will contain and we'll talk about next function. Next function is strcmp. So I will rename this strcmp underscore whatever the next one that will follow. I'll rename it later on. For now, let it be strcmp. Now, this strcmp, as it says, it is going to compare the two strings. Okay, strcmp. It is going to compare two strings. Let's see what help page says. strcmp and strcmp, and put your cursor in this F1. Well, so this compares string 1 and string 2 to determine the alphabetic order. Okay, string 1 and string 2, these both are constant strings, and we are comparing to find to determine whether they are equal or greater or lesser. Okay, so let's go back and create some variable and define them in the beginning to implement this example. So I'll create char string 1 and I will say compare. Okay, this is the first string. Second string is char string 2, and let's just put the same string in it also, so that the result of comparing the two strings will be true. Okay. Now, let me see what is the return type of this strcmp. I'll go back and it says it returns integer. So when it returns integer, I must be having some integer to capture the return value. So I will say result. So whatever is the result, I will put it in the result variable. Now I will call string compare function with string 1, comma string 2. Okay, and I know that both the strings are equal, they are the same, so I will capture result as this. Result is equal to string compare string 1 string 2. So what happens, I will print results now. lr underscore output underscore message %d, because result is an integer, and then I will say result. So I am going to print the result. Let's see what it does. Okay, so over here, string compare underscore dot c, line number 15, it says 0. That means when the two strings are equal, it will give you 0. Okay, and when the string is greater, it will give you greater than 0 value, and if the string is lesser, then it will give you lesser than 0 value. Okay, so let's see another time. If I change these, if I change any one of these strings, what happens? So I will change the string 2. I'll make it 1, 2, 3. I'll append 1, 2, 3 in the end. Now string 1 is compare and string 2 is compare 1, 2, 3. String 2 has become bigger. Now let me run this code. See, what it returns is -1, less than 0 value. Okay, so these are not comparable. They were, the second string was bigger than the first one, so it returns -1. Now let me do one more thing over here. 4, 5. I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the end of string 1. Now, string 1 has become bigger. Let me run this. It should ideally be returning me a greater than 1 value. Okay, greater than 0 value. Sorry. So it gives me 1. So this way, with the help of this flag, the return flag, it will be either 0 or greater than 0 or less than 0. 1, -1 or 0. So these are the three values it returns. And if I want to do anything with the result, for example, I want to print some intelligent messages depending on what is being returned, so I can use if condition. So this is how we can compare the results. Now see, if result is equal to 0, equal to 0, when we are comparing results with 0, the operation to be used is double equals. Okay, that will be able to equate. That will be able to compare. Use the equal operations. You have to use the equal operation, equal sign twice to carry out equal operation. So you can say, instead of putting it here, I will put it inside this if block. I say that the strings match. Okay. If result is 0, then of course the strings match. So that's the message I want to display. And if it is not 0, I will want to display, sorry, the strings don't match. Okay. So I'll say, sorry, the strings don't match. Okay. So I have used if condition with the return result that is returned using returned after calling string compare function, and I am kind of displaying an understandable result. That makes sense. So let me save this script as lr_strings functions. Okay. Let's run this code. So see, it says, sorry, the strings don't match, because of course the strings are different. Now if I put 4, 5 also, I make both the strings same. Let's see what it does. It says the strings match. So this way you can use string comparison function, strcmp function, to compare two scripts and to do further processing. If you want to do certain logical operation or certain business process you want to call, if the strings match or if the strings do not match, in this way you can use this return variable, you can use the result and can do further processing. Okay. Now let's talk about the next function, and that is string length. Okay, strlen. This is the function to measure string length, strlen. So I have the string here, string 1. First, I will take you to the page where help is available. Okay. So it says it returns length in bytes of a string, and what it expects is it expects some constant character string. Okay. So let me go back to this thing, and I will say string, and I want to pass string 1. Okay, and I want to print the output. So what I'll do is I will put this function call inside lr output statement, so that I don't have to create another variable and capture the return value and again use that value. So what I'll do is I'll say the length of the string is %d, and then I call this function right here. Okay. So let's run this function. Let's run this code. See, it says the length of the string is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it prints the correct length of this string. So you can use this function. I will rename the action here, strcmp, and strlength is in this action. We have some more actions here. Okay, there's one more action, stricmp. Now this this compare function that we used is not sensitive, is not case sensitive. Meaning to say, if I put it like this, if I put this lowercase c, of course the strings are same, but it is not since it is not a case sensitive comparison, it will fail. Okay, it will say the strings don't match. Sorry, the strings do not match. You see it in replay log. If you want to ignore case, so what we can do is, instead of using strcmp, we can use stricmp. What we'll do now is, it will say yes, the strings match. See, because we are instructing it to not mind the case sensitiveness and ignore case sensitive. Okay, so it will ignore the cases and will compare the script accordingly, strings accordingly. Okay. Okay. So this is about string comparison and string length function.